What's good, people? It's your boy, Uncle Fred, back in the house, back in the saddle one more again. Look, man, I had stuff going on this weekend, so I wasn't able to come and talk to y'all and share what I thought was going on with the Cowboys with this the game Sunday, and then do an Alabama video either. So we doing some got some stuff going on, so I wasn't able to get. But I took another day to kind of like get my thoughts together because it's like, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? How are we doing it? Where are we as Cowboy fans? What's next? Uh, as it says, Rico called his shot, man. Told you what he's gonna do, and y'all let them do it. We're gonna talk about that and a lot more here in just a minute. Y'all hang with your boy.
Two times on the beat, bitch.
Once again, what's up, people? It's Uncle Fred, Uncle Fred's Rants. Welcome to our the day after show. And I usually try to come because I think I did this last year on Columbus Day because that was the day after we got our doors beat in 47-9 by the Detroit Lions, and on Jerry's birthday because Jerry's birthday was yesterday. So I was like, yeah, that was kind of how that kind of fell. It's amazing how you can kind of, that's the second year in a row Jared and got his whooped on his birthday. But you get what you pay for, or in this case, what you don't pay for. Well, let's go ahead and get into it. Once again, let's want you to like, comment, and subscribe to the Uncle Fred Sports Experience. Guarantee you will not be disappointed. Certainly, trying to move towards monetization, and I got my Cash App and information all on the screen. And if you'd like to help your boy out, that would be much appreciated. But we ain't gonna beg for it. But you can like. If you watch the video, give me a like. I see a couple people on. Go on and hit that like button. They'll trigger other people toward the channel and Cowboys information and stuff like that. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. All right. So we know about what Tuesday or Wednesday of last week, Rico Dowdle called his shot. It might have been Sunday. It might have been the Sunday after because they beat the Dolphins while we were beating the Jets. And so they beat the Dolphins, and Rico Dowdle had like 206 yards and like a couple of touchdowns or something like that. So, so of course, the media being messy like they always are, but they trying to get the story. I ain't mad at them. They do what they do, right? So they's like, well, you got your former team coming up next week. You got this nice 206 game. What do you want to say to them? He said, they better buckle up. Basically, like say, I'm coming. I'm coming right down the middle of the fairway. I'm coming. All right. Then he called a shot. All right. That's Babe Ruth pointing to the right field bleachers. That's for y'all's time. That's Yankees back in the day. I'm a Yankee fan, so I know all the Yankee lore. Called a shot and hit and proceeded to hit it there. So Rico called his shot. Better buckle up. And of course, now they talked to our guys. Talked to Kenny Clark and talked to, which I'm like, why are they talking to dudes that didn't play with him? Sometimes the media do stuff where it's like, okay, what are they doing? But and so they asked Kenny Clark, and Kenny Clark's like, well, we always be buckled up. And I'm like, he said, well, they ain't never seen us. We ain't played them. So yada yada. Um, and of course they asked George Pickens. I'm like, now these guys that didn't play with us last year, You need to ask Dak. You need to ask, somebody like Osa, who don't really talk much. Somebody like that. You need to ask somebody like that about something like that. Somebody that's been played with this guy before. And they talked to Dak, and of course, Dak was like, "Of course, we're gonna be buckled up. We're getting on the plane." And, all right, Dak, that's enough of that bull crap. They're trying to crack jokes. All right, keep your day job, bro. Um, but he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna be physical. They're trying to be physical. I know him. He's gonna come at us. Whatever. Well, our defense is. I got confidence in our defensive guys that they're gonna. I'm paraphrasing here. You know, maybe you should be careful of what you speak." Okay. So the game kicks off, and of course, now I got my issues here because in the region that I live in, they didn't show the game. Now I'm gonna explain to you why I got problems with that. I got problems with that because I live in the southeast region of the United States, without telling everybody where I live, right? So most days I got the Falcons on Fox, and I got the Titans on CBS. Okay, those are the teams in the closest proximity to where I reside, right? So, all right. So, okay, what's going on here? My camera, stop. Okay, what are we doing here? Let's try this again. Hang on a second. Okay, let's try this again. Don't y'all love modern technology? There, okay. Got my camera back. All right. So, the game, I get the Titans on CBS because that's AFC usually, and I get the Falcons on Fox, which that's the NFC, right? But this particular day, they decided. I said, okay, let me check and see what Fox is showing. Well, they don't have a game at the 12 o'clock spot. Something like. Then at the 2 o'clock spot, they got the Titans and the Raiders. Now that would be okay because I'm used to get the Titans in this region, but that's on Fox. Fox usually shows NFC. Now I understand that the Falcons played on Monday night, so that's a slot for the Fox that's open because the Falcons are going to be playing on Monday night. So so they're showing the Titans and Raiders at the 3 o'clock slot, and no game at the 12 o'clock shot. So I'm like, well, okay, let me go to CBS. Maybe they did a little flipsy flopsy thing or whatever. So I'll go over to CBS, and at 12 o'clock they got the Steelers and the Browns. Now, no offense to the Steelers and Browns, but nobody want to see that. I'm sorry, even for Steeler fans. Come on, you didn't want to see that game. If they were playing the Bills, if they were playing the Ravens, if they was playing the Chiefs or playing the Colts or somebody like that, you'd be like, yeah, you want to see them play Cleveland? You didn't want to see that. That wasn't a good game to watch. But they're showing that game, and then of course at 3 o'clock they're showing the 49ers and the Buccaneers. So other teams that sometimes they show in our region are the Saints and the Buccaneers because that's the South. You know, um, and see Carolina's in the South too. So I'm like, why did you choose not to show that game? So we didn't get that game in our market. So normally I'll have an opportunity to go through and watch every play and look at all that stuff. I ain't had that opportunity this time. And it came on last night on NFL Network and as a repeat. They repeat the games throughout the week. and so everything. So I was pissed off because I didn't get a chance to watch the game and be able to analyze it because I do that before I come on here. I go through, look at all the key plays, look at all the drives and all this sort of stuff, and the key plays in the drive and all that kind of stuff. So I look at all that, and so I didn't get a chance to see any of that. So I'm not even coming with to you with that to this week. So anyway, the game got played, and the game started off slow. I think both teams. I think we went 3-and-out on our first drive, and I think they got a field goal on their first drive on a long drive. Big deal. Um, so for the end of the first quarter, it was like 3-3. So all right, got it right here. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Cowboys go 3 plays, six yards and a punt on their first drive. The Panthers go 8 plays, 63 yards on their drive. So we see a pattern here. Okay. We see a pattern where the Panthers are moving the football, getting first downs, moving the ball, and things of that nature. Okay. That drive, that drive consisted of a run off left guard for 9 yards for Rico Dowdle, a 21-yard pass to Evans, a 12-yard run by Rico Dowdle, 11-yard pass um, to Rico Dowdle, an 8-yard run by Rico Dowdle, an incompletion, a no-yard run, then a field goal attempt. Field goal attempt of 31 yards. So what were they like on the 4-yard line? They got all the way down to the 4. So we see a pattern here. Okay. Cowboys, took that and went 10 plays, 68 yards, and they got a field goal. So the end of the first quarter is 3-3. All right. So the second quarter, they off to a start, but Bryce Young gets his pass tipped by not sure who tipped that, but I know yeah, I know shoot, before the interception, Rico Dowdle had about 4, 5, 6 yards rushing. Um, and a pass to Tedero McMillan for 8 yards. There was like first and 10, and intercepted by Donovan Wilson. I think it hit Tedoro's hands and bounced in the air, and Donovan Wilson picked it up, and that gave us a short field. We went 4 plays, 12 yards, touchdown. Uh, got a 5-yard penalty, 6-yard run, a 4-yard pass. Uh, and he threw it to Hunter Lipke, his first NFL touchdown for a touch. So it's 10-3. Okay. And of course now the Panthers, that they weren't dismayed by having it turned over. So they turned around and they go um they go 6 plays, 66 yards. What I want to establish here is a pattern here. Dowdle up the middle for 11 yards, 7-yard run, okay, off left tackle, 15-yard pass, 12-yard run by Dowdle off left end, the 19-yard touchdown pass to Tedero McMillan. I think that's his first touchdown of the season. Our defense seems to give up a lot of firsts. We seem to be busting a lot of cherries in the season, right? So anyway, I'm no more on that. So we want to see. So we see there's about, I don't know, like 30, 40 yards of rushing here by Rico Dowdle. And the thing I want to make known here is that he told you to buckle up. he told you to buckle up. And he proceeded, and I'm gonna give you his stats for the day. I got them pulled right over here. Must be this one. Yeah, here we go. I think he had 30 carries for 183 yards. No touchdown, but he had a touchdown reception. Okay. Here we go. All right. Yeah. Let me see what he's got here. Rico Dowdle. He had 4 catches for 56 yards. And rushing, he had 30 carries for 183 yards, with his longest only being 15 yards. Okay. So that means he was just lining up and just punching y'all in the mouth for 5, 4, 8, 6, 3, 9, 12. Just sledgehammering y'all. Okay. And my question is, why? Why was he able to do that? Because to me, it tells you a little something about you, your manhood, your sense of pride, your sense of duty, your sense of responsibility, all of those things. When I tell you I'm coming, the burglar tells you I'm coming to your house 2:30 in the morning. I'm coming in the back door. And he proceeds to come at 3 o'clock in the morning, come in the back door and steal your goods. Then you're the fool because he told you he was coming. I'd have had something waiting for him. I sure would have. As soon as the door cracked open, I would have let loose with that. Okay. But they told you he told you he was coming. Y'all better buckle up. And he proceeded to run the ball down our proverbial throats. So that means guys like Kenny Clark, Osa Odigizua, Dante, uh, Dante. That means guys like James Houston, Dante Fowler. Couldn't think of his last name. That means all of those guys needed to have been ready. Needed to mean, yeah, you ain't gonna be able to block me today because I'm coming. I'm trying to make him pay for saying that. And do you know the Cowboys didn't have a single tackle for loss? And well, they had one. They had one sack. That's the only tackle for loss that they got in the game. And it wasn't in the running game. They chose to blitz one of the 4 or 5 times. I don't know why we don't blitz more because we're not really getting pass rush on our normal 4-man rotation, more 4-man defensive line rush. But we got one tackle for loss. They got like 5. So he called his shot and he hit the target of what he called. Lines all up. Picked us off. So my question is, where is our pride? When someone tells you buckle up and you don't meet his intensity, what does that say about you? What does that say about your preparation? What does that say about your pride? What does it say about your dignity? What does that say about your manhood? Okay. What does it say? Okay. So that's one of my first questions. My second question is, why weren't we able to run the ball? Because that's been one of our calling cards this season. We've had I think our lowest been like 118 yards rushing every game. And, we've been saying, with Clayton Adams, Connor Riley, Shoddy, preaching physicality, violence, and we're going to run the ball. We're going to be multiple. We're going to run the ball. Okay? Let's see what we did here. Let's just see what we did here. Pull this up. I'm not going to share. I am going to share something with y'all, but it ain't going to be that. Oh, got the wrong one. Yeah, it is right here. I'm gonna share something with y'all, but I'm not gonna share that. Let me share this. All right, yards rushing. Carolina Panthers rushed for two. Yeah, I didn't stutter. 216 yards. Meanwhile, the much ballyhooed Cowboy rushing attack with Javonte Williams, all fitted for a rushing title this year. We had 31 yards rushing on 19 attempts, 1.6 yards per carry. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, that ain't gonna get it done right there. That's not gonna get it done. That's not gonna get it done right there. And I was trying to see if I could find that stat that showed tackles for loss because I saw that on something and I forgot where I saw that at. Because I think we only had one of those. I ain't gonna spend a lot of time on it. Let's see. Yeah, tackles for loss. They had 5. We had 2. I think we had a sack. Maybe we had 1 tackle, but they had 5 tackles for loss. 4 pass deflections. We only had 1. Okay. So all of this stuff about but we're gonna be the more physical, we're gonna be violent. Because I heard Connor Riley talking, not Connor Riley, but yeah, he's in it too because he's our offensive line coach. But Clayton Adams talking about it, whatever we do is going to be violent. Now, some of the plays I did see because that's how I watched the game, a little bit of it, and a few, because I was doing something and it happened to be. It was on when the Monday night game was on last night too. So one of the 2 games. So I kind of watched a little bit of it, and I saw when we tried to run it, and I saw those guys at all 3 levels, be it the defensive line, be it the linebackers, be it the secondary people, safety and corners. When we was running the ball, guys were attempting to block guys, but they were throwing them off and getting to the ball carrier. They weren't accepting being blocked. See, that's something in that you're accepting being blocked. There's a intensity that's involved there. It's like, we want to, make a play, and it's incumbent upon me to make a play. Now, I saw when the Panthers was running the football, I saw our guys accept being blocked. I saw guys being stuck to the offensive lineman like they had fly paper on their jerseys, and we just stuck to them. I saw Kenny Clark on the ground. I saw Osa Odigizua turned sideways and pushed out of the hole. Dante Fowler, I saw pushed aside when they run them off tackle rights, off tackle lefts, and it's James Houston or whether it's Jadeveon Clowney. I mean, Law Nation had a picture with him being hemmed up by one of the offensive linemen, and he said it looked like he was being thrown out the club. He looked like security at the club, like he was like, help me, help me." You were wrong for that, Law Nation. You was wrong for that. It was funny. It was funny looking at that. David Clown is a lot smaller than I remember him being. He looks smaller than like Pickens. He could be receiver, but whatever. But so our guys were accepting the block, and the Panthers defenders were dispatching the block and making. I saw cornerbacks making plays on run plays, knifing through, making tackles. I seen Horn coming through making tackles. J.C. Horn coming through making tackles. I seen Diggs sidestepping tackles, coming in at odd angles so I can attempt to tackle, but I ain't really trying to throw my whole body into that tackle, if you know what I'm talking about. Like I'm really making a business decision, but I'm not making it obvious that I'm making a business decision. What it means is I'm making a tackle, but I'm making it in a way where I'm probably not going to be successful in making this tackle, but it's going to look like I'm trying to make the tackle. So that's why we couldn't run the ball, because our offensive linemen, uh, weren't able to, push. Tyler Smith was out there. I saw Tyler Smith get pushed to the side. I'm like, Tyler, you're supposed to be the best offensive lineman in the game, getting pushed around. You know? Yeah, I saw the Panthers defenders hustling to get off blocks and make tackles at all levels, at the D line, linebacker, and secondary position. And like I said, I thought Clay Adams was this great running game coordinator. And he might be, but he wasn't on Sunday. I thought we was physical. Okay. It's two things that'll show you that you weren't physical that day. Two things. Your ability to run the football and your ability to stop somebody else from running the football. We weren't able to run the football, 19 carries, 31 yards. And we weren't able to stop them. I think 36 rushes for 216 yards. And everybody was getting some of Travis. It wasn't Travis Etienne. It's the other Etienne boy. I think it's Travis's brother. This is the one that played at Georgia, I do believe. Everybody got in on it, right? Rico Dowell was 30 carries, 183 yards, 6.1 yards a carry. Etienne, 3 carries, 17 yards. That's 5.1 yards a carry. Jimmy Horn Jr., from Colorado, really not even supposed to be drafted. I think he was undrafted. 1 carry for 11 yards. Meanwhile, Javonte Williams, 13 carries for 29 yards. Longest being 6. That was our longest run of the day, 6 yards. Flournoy, 1 carry for 3. Blue, 3 carries for nothing. Prescott, 2 carries for -1. 19 for 31. So we weren't physical. We got pushed around. Okay. And it'd be one thing if you're getting pushed around by, where did my drink go? Oh, here it is. It'd be one thing if you're getting pushed around by the Eagles, as much as I hate the Eagles. But the Eagles getting their butts whooped now too. Yeah, they got ran in the ground by Scatterboo. Skywalker still had this thing with the scat. I wish I had that music. That was good. Scatterboo was scat thatting on them. But I can't do too much of that because we got our butts whooped now. That's why you can't laugh too much when other teams misfortune, because especially when you still got to go play. But anywho, yeah, I thought we was physical. But anyway, now I got some additional questions. Why are the people we paying not being able to make plays? Anybody can answer it. Don't anybody answer it once. I mean, now offensive line, on our offensive line, only one's getting paid is Tyler Smith, and he ain't look good Sunday either. Normally you can just get behind Tyler Smith and you be able to run, do whatever. I saw Tyler Smith getting pushed out of a gap into another gap, and then they come in and make the tackle. I've seen that. And I know he coming off an injury with that knee. I would have liked to have shelved him another week and brought him back against the Commanders. We're gonna need him against the Commanders, but what am I talking about? You can't even beat the Panthers, right? But the guys we paying not making plays. Let's look at it. Osa. Now, look, I like Osa. I think that's all I'm gonna be able to get out of that. I like Osa. Osa's a man about his business, takes care of his body. You don't, he's attention, his attention to detail is good. He don't miss games, doesn't get hurt. And that's the kind of guy you kind of want to reward when he does what he does. But when you look at the numbers, it's averages about 4.5 sacks a year, and he's mediocre at best against the run. Mainly because he kind of undersized. He's 280 pounds. As a defensive tackle, he's obviously a 3-tech. That's small as a 3-tech. So for him, you really need to put a big boy next to him to make him effective. So when we got Kenny Clark, I thought that was going to be, because Kenny Clark is about what, 315, something like that, 320, about 6'4", somewhere in that neighborhood. And when you watch the games, you see Osigazua getting pushed out of his spot, getting turned sideways, getting knocked to the ground. And so, much as I love Odigazua, I'm like, couldn't that money have been spent somewhere else? Couldn't you have maybe used, maybe you came to him and say, look, man, look, we love you. We love your work ethic. We love your attention to detail. We look how you take care of your body. We love how you always show up for the bell. We love all that. But we really can't commit $20 million to you. If you intend on getting that kind of money, you might have to go elsewhere. But we can give you 12. We can give you 4 years and $70 million, something like that. 12 to 15, we can give you that. That way we can put another guy next to you. We can go out and get a Javon Kinlaw or somebody like that, or another big time go get a Javon Hargrave or somebody like that, or go get a DJ Reader or somebody like that to pair with him. But you got money to do that because you didn't give him 20 million. See, they gave him the 20 million and he's still playing the same way he's always played. I mean, he does what he does. He makes some plays in the passing game. He don't do a whole lot for you in the running game. He just never has. So better off than if you just let him walk and just putting in some other dude in there, or just giving him a regular offer. So you got Oso Digazua, who, like I said, I love the guy. DERONBLAND, and we're gonna get on DERONBLAND here in a minute. And DERONBLAND is the guy that got money, but he got it as a result of another guy messing up and wasn't able to get cookies. What do you mean, Uncle Fred? Look, man, we all done been young and been in that situation where we're trying to get with somebody, get with a young lady, and she's all into you, you all into her, and she thinking in her mind, oh, he gonna get lucky today, long as he don't say something stupid. Women know that's the thing. They know, yeah, he gonna get lucky tonight if he don't say nothing too stupid. Well, I guess Micah said something stupid to Jerry and all that whole thing. So he decided he wasn't gonna get paid. So when the guy said something goofy, and she was like, you just take me home. Look, I'm going on home. Well, you go right on ahead. I'm gonna sit here and you go on home. Well, I ain't gonna buy you no more drinks. I'm gone. And the next guy comes in. He says, hey, how you doing? I'm good. I'm just sitting here, trying to see what happens, what I'm gonna do with the rest of my night. Okay, you from around here? You know how that thing go. And then certainly you get what the other guy was supposed to have gotten, but he said something stupid. Okay, so Bland got the money that really, what they call it, Voldemort. People don't like to say his name no more. Was supposed to have gotten, but Jerry, he said something too stupid to Jerry. Like talk to my agent. So he gets the money, or he gets the cookies that the other guy was supposed to have gotten. You know, same thing with uh Ferguson. He getting secondhand cookies. All right. So but ever since Bland been back, I know he played good in the Eagles game because I don't think they had but one pass over 20 yards in that 10 yards in that game. And I think they only threw for like 19 yards in that game. And when he come back against the Packers, because I think he missed the Giants and missed the Bears game, came back against the Packers and got smoked by Romeo Dobbs on a bunch of stuff. But Romeo Dobbs got a heck of a get off though. He does. He got a quick get out the. He hard to jam because he's like he just sudden. He's just sitting there, and then boom, he's in his move, and he's like you almost caught flat footed, and then he caught Bland flat footed and caught that fade pattern on him and caught him in 7-0. Then he got him later in the game. Romeo Dobbs was eating us up. Then I saw him the next week against the Jets, and he got a couple times. Matter of fact, he got smoked by Garrett Wilson. It's just that Justin Fields wasn't able to make that throw. He got whooped. And then you get in this game, and then I'm gonna get to the play I'm talking about. That 4th and 3, everybody talking about it. I'm gonna show you the play. But he got 4 years, 92 million, almost $100 million corner. He really not really making the plays like you would think a $90 million, $100 million corner is supposed to make. Now I know he's been hurt, and sometimes you gotta give people time to get their bearings after they've been hurt. He's got a foot injury in the first practice after the first game, and but he ain't been good since he's been back. Okay. Bland, Diggs, and Diggs, look, man, Diggs got a thing with the front office. And the front office got a thing with him. Both of them got a thing with pride. The Cowboys are prideful about their system. If you go outside their system, they want to be done stuff to be done, you do it your way, they gonna badmouth you in the media, which is something we got to talk about too, because like they feel like it's okay to badmouth their players in the media, the ownership now. But we didn't been conditioned. We Stockholm syndrome in the second. That's okay to do that. That the owner and general manager, and the second in command can go on live TV and talk about, guys, not doing their job, or guys not being professional, guys, talking that way in public about their players. When I say Stockholm syndrome, I mean it's like we accept it, like, well, look at that, he getting it done. Because something you can do something, don't mean you should do it. Okay. And we've been Stockholm syndrome. That's just a term when captives of offenders become ingratiated to the people that captured them, kidnapped them or what have you. Then they started, then after a while, they ain't got to lock the door. You just stay because you used to being captivated. It's like the dog that's in the fence, but he's used to being in the fence. You take the fence down, he don't go nowhere. So we're used to the foolishness that the front office do. And there's even content people that carry the water for the front office. Like, well, Diggs ain't getting it done. He need to get the heck out of here because he listening to what Jerry and Steven say. And it's like nobody else in the league's owners. And I know there's some owners that think ill about something that their players are doing. Everybody ain't completely happy with all 53 of their man's rosters. I promise you they're not. But they don't go on TV and talk about it. And our guys go and talk about it, and everybody just like, oh, that's okay. The media people, the people who the stations they come to and do, they just let them do it. And nobody calls them on the carpet. Nobody says anything, right? So he says that, and so Diggs with his pride is like, no, these guys work with my brother and got my brother ready to play in 6 to 8 months. So, and I don't think our front office is is bad. I just think they're overwhelmed. I just think we have an abundance of people with injuries, and you only have like a handful of people, staff to work with them. So it's like if I don't get to my own people where I can get that immediate attention that I should get, then I might not get the results that I'm looking for. So that's probably what Diggs is saying. So he went to his own people and he's like, and he probably should not have said, well, I'm going to be ready game one. Because if you tell folks you're going to be ready at game one and you can play at game one, and then any games in the intermediate and you're not your normal self, people not giving you that mulligan. And there's been a lot of games when Diggs ain't been what I would like him to be, given the money that he's been paid and that sort of thing. So you got a bunch of high-priced people, Osa, Bland, Diggs, that were paid money. So I'm not carrying water for Jerry, but if I'm an owner and I'm paying you $20 million, I expect you to do what a $20 million player do. See? Because the Cowboys now started doing some things that I had criticized them for not doing. But it's kind of like not the way it's supposed to be done. What do you mean? Well, we talked about the Cowboys not spending the money the other teams do, spending the money the Eagles spend, not spending the money the 49ers spend, spending the money the Lions spend. These are the guys, the teams we got to beat, okay? But the Cowboys are like, well, I'll show you. Well, I'll spend the money, but you're only spending the money on the players that you already had on the roster. That don't count. See, just because you paid Jake Ferguson $14 million, don't make him a $14 million tight end. Don't make him Dallas Goedert. Don't make him George Kittle. Don't make him Travis Kelce. Don't make him Sam Laporta. Okay? Don't make him Isaiah Likely. Don't make him none of those guys. Now, he's having a good season this year, but I think that's a product of if we pay him, we got to target him thing. All right? And then Bland, we're playing him and we're playing Osa. We not getting no more out of Osa than what we were playing. Like if you'd have went on a free agent market and got a $20 million defensive tackle, you'd have probably got more production than you get out of $20 million on the guy you already was paying $4 to. And if you'd have went on the open market and got a tight end, which I would have said, just go draft you a tight end, But I know he got like 40 catches and like 5 touchdowns now. So I get it. But he's been targeted a bunch because we target him when we pay him. I don't know if I agree with that either. So I don't know. Like I said, that all comes down to how we attempt to do business. We spend money how we spend money. Okay. We choose to draft rather than, and something that they were saying on Landlord and Henny the Moore today. I was watching their show today. I think it might have been from yesterday. He said, we're the only team that go through the draft expecting like half the guys we draft to be starters. Most teams think if they draft 6 players, they think maybe one guy might start. Or he may be, close to being in a rotation. We think the guys we pick supposed to start. You got to step it up. But nobody else is putting that kind of pressure. Like right now, we're expecting Shamar James to be a level 1 linebacker. Shamar James misses a bunch of tackles. Now, he's got a lot of youthful exuberance. Same thing with Maurice Leafau. Misses a lot of tackles, misses a lot of reads because he just don't know no better. He's a young guy. All right? He just got drafted last year. What the heck does he know? All right? You know how you learn? You learn by playing. You learn by playing sparingly while an older player, more experienced player shows you the ropes. That's how everybody else does it. But we expect the young guys to get in there and be able to go up against experienced veterans at their opposite position of on these teams we're playing. And it's just not happening. You're fooling yourself if you believe that. And if you're fooling yourself, if we think if we just hang on to these extra first round draft picks and we just draft them players, that they're gonna make a big difference. Because they got this thing called a learning curve. It takes a couple of years with good tutelage and looking over the shoulder of a guy that's already doing it before they can kind of jump in there and make actual plays in the game that matter. So it goes to how we do business. Okay. It's always it's a push to looking at how we do business. Okay. How we team build. Like I said, we choose to draft. We're not going to spend any money on free agency. Matter of fact, every one of our free agents, with the exception of, I want to say Kenneth Murray. Kenneth Murray is Dante Fowler. One of the two is on a 2-year deal. I'm not sure which one it is, but none of them have no long-term deal. We just don't do long-term deals on outside people, but everybody else does. And look, I'm not one of these dudes that you got to do everything everybody else does. Okay, I'm not one of those people. Okay, I am one of those people that say, like, if the thing is going off the embankment and everybody else is jumping on the carousel, you need to be doing some individual thinking. Okay. But if everything you do turns out this way and everything that everybody else is doing turns out right, i.e., the Eagles win the Super Bowl, 49ers then bend to 2 or 3, doing it the way they're doing it. The lines are right there on the door, Bills right there on the door. We still in the same place. Maybe you might want to amend how you're doing the thing. All right, let me show y'all this. If I can. Let me show y'all this. Now, this is the play that everybody talking about, and I'm going to show it. Let's see. As we get ready to get off of this video here. All right. Let's see. All right, let's see. All right, let's see here. Okay. Yeah, this is right here. We're going to share that one. Okay. All right. All right. We're going to share this play right here. I want y'all to watch this. And let me play this. I'm going to be down here at the bottom. I want y'all to watch this.
Yeah, pre-snap, there was no question where that ball was going. Take a look how deep they are. Just lined with so much cushion on fourth down.
This is the 4th down play.
Instead, they'll try to get 3 yards on a quick pass through traffic. Good for a first down. It is caught by Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah, pre-snap, there was no question where that ball was going. Take a look how deep they are. Just lined with so much cushion on fourth down.
From here,
Watch this play. We looking at it right here. Here's the lineup. Here's the line of scrimmage right here. Here's the yellow line is the first down markers, 4th and 3 or 4th down and 4. Okay. This guy right here where my cursor is pointing, this is right here is Sam Williams on the right side of the formation. This guy right here is DERONBLAND. This is right here is the guy he's covering. This is Hunter Renfrow. This isn't Xavier Legette. This is Hunter Renfrow. This is DERONBLAND, our $20 million per year, $90 million corner. Okay, you see that right there? So this guy, Sam Williams, right here, is supposed to hedge and sort of and Bryce Young is looking at the guy he's going to throw it to. He don't have the ability to be able to, fix himself to not look where he's not supposed to be throwing it. And so as the play develops, Sam Williams is inching this way instead of that way with the idea, I guess I'm going to bait him into throwing it. But if you watch the play and I'm going to unpause it, he's just a hair short late.
Punt it. Instead, they'll try to get 3 yards on a quick pass through traffic. Good for a first.
He just misses it. Okay? Just misses it. All right, I'm going to stop sharing now. So that's the thing right there. That's the play everybody been talking about, and that's courtesy of X. What are you gonna say? I don't know if that's Eberflus. I don't know if that's who that is. Who's the problem with that? But Bland, 8 yards off on a 4th and 3, 4th and 4. All he did was go down, turn around, and the ball's right there. Kenneth Murray trying to fool. Dude, that's play the thing. He's inching to the right when he should have been inching to the left, because those handful of inches that he was off to the right, if he'd have been in the place where he was when the play started and broke to the right, he'd have knocked that ball down or intercepted it. They both off. Murray, Bland, Everflus. What defense would you call? He's the only cornerback. And that's Hunter Renfrow. He's not running past you. Dude didn't even play football last year. So where do we go from here? We got the Commanders next week. And they mad because they got their butts whooped last night by the Bears. And then we got the Broncos at Mile High, whatever that stadium's called, the week after that. The Cardinals the week after that with Colin Murray, who if he's back, he's never lost in AT&T. And with all that going, I guess we better buckle up, hadn't we? But anyway, that's all I got from the desk, Uncle Fred. I guess your boy got to go to work today. So please like, comment, and subscribe to the Uncle Fred Sports Experience. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. Y'all take care.